Hi and welcome to the second episode of the Incredible Stories from Slovakia. You may have heard about the 5-time Oscar-winning Hollywood blockbuster Saving Private Ryan, but it pales in comparison to Slovak reality of saving collaborator Mako. The story of Mako is a story of a policeman who decided to abuse his position, director of criminal office of financial administration, and become extortioner, blackmailing private companies accused of tax frauds. When the police came knocking on his door, he did everything in his power to stay outside the prison. Not only did he become collaborator in record-setting 87 cases, he also used the information about the alleged carousel fraud where one of the members was close friend of current Prime Minister Mr. Heger. In his own words, he used this information to blackmail Mr. Heger into arranging his transfer from criminal office of the financial administration to Slovak Information Service. Since this transfer, Mako's security company has landed multiple multi-million government contracts, and Heger has personally approved 20 million raise to the budget of Slovak Information Service. Everyone in Slovakia knows that Mr. Mako has become the go-to witness for political investigators in their hunt for opposition. As their crown witness, he isn't afraid to falsely testify, and whenever are his made-up claims disproven by hard evidence, he is given a chance to correct himself and come up with a different version that doesn't contradict the real-world facts. When the Slovak Information Service became aware of these manipulations in investigations, Mako instantly came up with allegations that the director of SES was in fact dirty and guilty of accepting a bribe. The investigators detained the director of SES and held him in prison for half a year, but the report, containing evidence in form of transcripts of intercepted communications confirming the manipulations and false testimonies, has reached the parliament as well as the regional public prosecutor's office. Since then, there has been an ongoing war between our law enforcement authorities with Slovak Information Service, police inspection and regional public prosecution on one side, and special prosecution with National Criminal Agency and government figures on the other. To put it simply, the elite investigators of National Criminal Agency that have been undoubtedly tasked with criminalizing the opposition have crossed the line, broke the law, and are now desperately trying to get under control any and all evidence of it. The regional prosecutors are well aware of their motives and refuse to let them anywhere near the key evidence, so the investigators were forced to choose a different approach. In attempt to protect their collaborator, Mako, from being convicted for his false testimony against the director of SES, they decided to brute force their way into the district court, which was at the time in possession of the case file, together with its classified annex, presumably proving beyond any doubt that Mako is a fraud and false witness. They barged into the courthouse demanding the case file, claiming it is necessary for their investigation of a criminal organization. This criminal organization, as we later found out, consists of regional prosecutors and district investigators who committed the most despicable crime, investigating Mako. As a side note, thanks to our brave elite investigators, Slovakia currently has the highest amount of active criminal organizations from any country ever. The authorized judge explained to them that the law strictly prohibits her from handing over any case file, not to mention one with a sensitive annex. She had to explain to them 3 times in a row that what they were doing was illegal and that they were asking her to break the law as well, before they finally decided to stop the aggression and leave. Only to come back after working hours with a warrant to search the whole court. They informed the on-duty judge that despite what the warrant says, they are still interested only in the case file against Mako. After a quick call, the chief judge promised to deal with their request first thing in the morning. When he arrived next day, the investigators were already there, holding the court secretary captive in a room with the vault, refusing to let her out until the vault is unlocked and they receive the Mako's file. The chief judge quickly explained to them that warrant or not, He can't legally hand over the file because it would be a clear violation of law. The investigators in return explained to him that they do not in fact care about what the law says and are ready to use a locksmith to break into the vault or any other room they wish, threatening the chief judge that he will be surprised by what they might find. The chief judge was outraged by their threats and gross abuse of power. But in order to prevent any unnecessary damage to the vault, he has instructed the court secretary to open it. When she brought out the file, she noted that the classified annex was no longer part of it, as it has been sent back to the public prosecutor's office earlier that morning. The investigators suddenly lost all interest in the case file and simply left, proving that all they were after the whole time was the classified evidence incriminating their superstar collaborator, MAKA. The chief judge of the district court informed every relevant public authority about this incident, and the Judicial Council is set to discuss this illegal conduct of the investigators. I feel like I speak for the entire nation when I say that all we want is justice, but what we are currently witnessing under Heger's government feels like the complete opposite. We are slowly reaching a point where you either side with the completely politicized elite investigators or you find yourself to be a member of criminal organization.